Hi there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Market here with the Ultimate Masters live spreadsheet updated. I will try to do this one more time before I call it a night. It's 7 o'clock my time, so you can expect this maybe in 3 or 4 hours to be updated. How I'm updating this is a combination of things. I'm using TCG Player. There aren't a lot of vendors, though, at the moment that are posting things, but if there at least is like 8 on TCG Player, I'm putting it as a legit price for what the card is going at. I'm also using vendors like Star City Games and vendors like Card Kingdom, Cool Stuff Inc., Abu Games, all of the big ones, and trying to scour both the data of what they're selling, the current version, the Ultimate Masters, or if there's a version that is being sold in large enough quantities from a previous version, that also is taken into consideration where the prices of these cards are at the moment. So kudos to Saffron Olive for creating this spreadsheet. I've just stolen it and added to it and adjusted some of the prices because you can't really trust the prices they have right now that is going off of the original market price or TCG mid because there's just not enough data out there. So I painstakingly went through and scoured some of these lists. I'll have the link in the description below. Again, you can follow along with me. This set continues to be very, very strong. There's a lot of value that is going to be lost. Of course, because like I said in the last video, eventually this price, the contents of the cards are going to have to come down to where it is where people are mass box opening these cards just to sell these cards. So you got to keep in mind too that the EV does not include a box topper. Box topper EV is going to probably be, in my opinion, it's going to have like a 1.5 to 2 multiplier of the original card. And some of them will have a little bit higher, like Eternal Witness, for example, because it's got such a low price point to begin with. So we'll have to figure out a good box topper EV as more data is released, and then we can add that into a box EV because that is included in the box. So that is part of the booster box. All right, so you can come down my list. You can see that there's no card that is above $70 at the moment. Liliana the Veil has gone down to $65.99. If you actually go and check out some of the data for the Innistrad version as well as the Modern Masters 3 version, Liliana of the Veil is tanking pretty hard, and of course this really something has to give. Liliana is one of the more played cards in Modern, but having this be the third print, I think this is going to be the one that does really start to tick down the Liliana. A lot of copies out there for this card, and I think that even box cards that are contained in the box topper have the chance of going slightly down the cards that are not contained in the box topper, because of course that adds man, there's estimated there's already 15,000 box toppers out there from what the Guilds of Ravnica was sold. So that's factoring into those already in existence, and that is legitimate supply that is being injected into the system. So Karn Liberated is now under 60. You can see actually only one card is above 60, with Karn Liberated at the 59.49. Caverns of the Soul is staying strong. I think that actually Caverns of Souls will be the most expensive card in this Ultimate Masters when the dust settles. I think it will be slightly above both Karn and Liliana, and that's just basically based on the amount of play the card sees. Caverns of Souls has about the same rarity or quantities out there as Liliana and Karn. I'd actually say there's less Caverns out there than there is Liliana. And Karn, Liliana and Cavern probably have more quantities than Karn because that was a 2015 Modern Masters as well as a new Phyrexia. Third sets typically don't have the amount of first sets. I think Cavern of Souls was a third set as well, but that was a highly open one. I think there was more, yeah, definitely more than from Avacyn Restored than there was from new Phyrexia. Then we have Snapcaster Mage, which is hitting at about 55.25. That will continue to come down, in my opinion. It does see a lot of play, though, in Modern. It could be one of them that has that real demand, like the flexibility in multiple decks, that it has the best of actually holding the price tag. We have Tarmogoyf that is, in my opinion, that will be under $50 by the end of tonight, and I think by the end of release will be under 40. So you can kind of go through the rest of these. I'm just going to give the highlights here before I don't want this video to be too long. So far as the Mythics is concerned, we've seen a lot of drop already. The Lord of Extinction is all the way down to 6, Baleful Dragon all the way down to 5. I believe the Lord of Extinction will be the least expensive Mythic, and we even have Sigarda under 10, which was even surprising to me because of how much that card does see play in Commander. Mikaeus is still holding strong at 17. I think there's a lot more room to fall for that. Manival is down below 20, which was surprising. And all of the Eldrazi are under 25 at the moment. Dark Depths, Bitter Blossom, Temporal Manipulation around that $30 mark. Those I think will continue to go down. And Caracas I think is going to join the under 20 once the dust does settle with this particular list. So if you look right now, the average Mythic value is sitting around $29.32, with the vast majority of them being over the booster pack price. In fact, the other ones are not that bad. If you add up all the other uncommons and things you'll be getting out of the set, most likely if you get a Mythic, you will be making your money back. Of course, the foil multiplier, I put it down to 1.9. I know they had this at 2.1, but I was looking over some data from Iconic Masters and Masters 25, and this is more reasonable than 2.1. We can look at the rares. There is no rare above $50. Back to Basics, that's one that has some really, really convoluted data. As it's going on, there's only one seller on TCG Player at $80, but if you actually look at Urza's Saga from various vendors, some of the vendors, I believe like Card Kingdom, already put it down to $50. So, I mean, that's the faith they have in the Urza's Saga version. With this coming out in tons and tons and tons of quantities from Ultimate Masters, and really only sees play in Legacy. This card I think will be crushed the most. You got to kind of compare this to like a Blood Moon type card. It doesn't see near the play of Blood Moon, and Blood Moon went all the way below 20 last time it was printed in a Masters set. We have Engine Explosives. It has also taken a huge hit. And we have Demonic Tutor, Celestial Colonnade, Ancient Tomb, Phyrexian Tower. They're all around that $25 mark, within a big jump to the next group of cards around the $20 mark. So you can see that the vast majority of cards now out of Ultimate Masters will not make up the pack value if you open up one of these. And I think a lot of these still have a lot of... even in this area, are going to go down quite substantially. We already have our first bulk rares, what we consider of under 50 cents, with Tower in the Sky Summoner and Stirring Wildwoods. Stirring Wildwoods is it actually does see play in Abzan, but the problem with this was it was printed in a very, very popular Eldrazi versus Zendikar, and this one's going to have a very tough time recovering. And Tower in the Sky Summoner, I believe, is been printed before again in a supplemental product. Correct me if I'm wrong. It does see a lot of commander play. It's actually a very popular commander itself. We have other cards, though, that I expect even to go down even further, like the Tasigur, like the Desolate Lighthouse. Even cards like Seismic Assault that used to see play and no longer do are going to be in that bulk rare stage. So there's a lot of opportunity if these do go way down in value where you should be snapping them up. Great cards like Thespian Stage. If that continues to go down like 50 cents, there are some great... These are the type of cards I love because they slowly creep up and then they're worth $5 again. And then they're a great time to, use them as trade fodder or just, buy list them off at that point. Again, there's a few other cards that are continuing to fall down faster than I thought they would. We have the Daybreak Coronet. This sees a 4 of in a Bogles deck, for example, going down. And even cards like Sublime Archangel have taken a huge hit, gone down at below the $5 mark. Uncommon value. There's no uncommon above $5 now. They've all gone down. In fact, the one that's worth the most, Mistveiled Plains, I expect to actually go down significantly more. I think this was just a very low supply uncommon. It wasn't really played in a lot of things. Occasionally you'll see one of these in a modern deck. I've played it in the Proclamation of Rebirth deck before, as you can tutor it up with the Flagstones of Shroker once it's destroyed with your own Ghost Quarters, or you can actually even fetch it up. The Mistveiled Plains, though, I think is going to be probably under the $1 mark. It was one of those cards that took a long time to get up in value to begin with. We have Eternal Witness at 4, Golgari Thug at 4. These are both staples in formats. Lava Spike at 4. I expect all of these to be around the $3 mark. In the short term. These are good ones that will have good recover in the long term. Kitchen Finks, Chainer's Edict around $3.50. Sleight of Hand. Again, these have a little bit of room to go down with Conflagrate and Buried Alive. Anger at the $3 mark. Laboratory Maniac at 2. That's surprising because it's actually more rare. This being an uncommon and a rare in Innistrad has less supply than a lot of these cards, and does see a heavy amount of play in both. It sees a decent amount of play in Modern in like the usually only one-ofs, but does see a lot of play in Commander. Young Pyromancer at the 2, Devoted Druid at the 2, Desperate Ritual 2, Dark Salvage 2. That's probably about the right. I don't expect a lot of fluctuation in these particular cards. as they do see a lot of play. Maybe something like Angel of Despair will go down to that 25 to 35 cent mark, just because something's got to give in this set. But pretty much these have already started to go very, very low, and it's just because everyone anticipates there's going to be a lot of this product on the secondary market quickly, because of it's still way more lucrative to break these down and sell them for their singles price than it is to try to compete with the booster boxes currently going for $280 a piece. So you're going to get way above your box value, and therefore that means that these are just going to continue to go down. So that's a little bit of update. I'll have the link in the description below where you can follow along. I think I've got it so where I'm the only one that can edit. Hopefully that's the case. Otherwise, someone's going to troll me and put outrageous prices. But I'll do one more edit as we get more data. Again, this has a variety of data sources that I'm getting this from, for anywhere from vendors to TCG Mid to if anyone can actually prove me a source where this is being sold for cheaper, then I'll update it as well. But you can see that it's holding strong at the moment with the I mean, usually right after the set is fully spoiled, they need to go to start seeing the big fluctuations, because vendors can make an educated guess about what they can get back after fees for selling these cards, and then it will definitely start to hit that price where it actually makes sense. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is Kevin with the Rogue Market. Thanks for watching.